What I just learned about here has to be one of the most insane, vile plans I've ever heard of, and it was actually attempted. Two men were training for what has to be one of the most unhinged ideas ever thought of. Like, the Lord, when he gave humans brains, didn't think they'd be capable of concocting something so fucking absurd. I'm actually struggling to find the words to even set the stage here for what I'm about to show you, so I'll just instead use a hand gesture. It's a big thumbs down moment. This shit is foul.
A federal grand jury indicted two North Texas men accused of plotting to invade a foreign island, kill the men, and take the women as sex slaves.
Prosecutors say one of the men enlisted in the Air Force to get military training he thought he needed. Fox 4's Blake Hansen.
I know that intro hits you like a fucking knuckle sandwich because it's so preposterous, but it's actually just the tip of the iceberg here. And they left out a very big key detail. According to the official press release, these two lunatics were also planning to take the children as sex slaves as well. So these two Jeffrey Epstein commandos here were planning to invade an island nation, murder all of the men, and take the women and children as their sex slaves. And one of them literally joined the Air Force in order to receive training to better help them carry out this plan. This shit sounds like something P. Diddy would have cooked up while playing with G.I. Joe action figures or something. Like, these guys were very serious about this. They were actually doing everything they could to carry out this island invasion and murder and kidnapping.
In our newsroom tonight with these stunning allegations, Blake.
Yes, Stephen Heather, federal prosecutors say the suspects didn't plan to go it alone. In fact, the feds say they plan to recruit people who are homeless in Washington, D.C. to serve on their, quote, expeditionary force and take over a small Haitian island. The grand jury indictment handed up today charges 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas from Argyle.
Now, there's no picture of Tanner that's available at the moment, but the mugshot there that exists of Gavin, he looks like a psychopath. That guy looks like he has a screw loose. It looks like he is like biologically evolved to be the quintessential caricature of a freak that has these like crazy, heinous ideas. And like I said, this is something they took so seriously that they were even planning out how to recruit homeless people to join their ranks to storm the beaches of the island that they were going to invade so they could start slaughtering the men there.
With conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country, as well as a charge of production of child pornography.
I told you, that intro was just a crumb. That doesn't even scratch the surface to the depths of depravity that these two men has sunk to. Like, these are evil, rotten to the core fucking monsters. So there is also a charge of child pornography production here, which I imagine none of you are surprised to hear, given that these two men planned on kidnapping the women and children as sex slaves for themselves.
Record Joe Weisenberg was booked into the Collin County Jail in July. We've not been able to find a mugshot for Thomas. Prosecutors say he was in the U.S. Air Force at the time. The place they are accused of plotting to invade is called Gonave Island. It is part of the Republic of Haiti. It's not small. In fact, that island has about 87,000 residents. Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas planned to lead that expeditionary force by sailboats to the island, murder the men, take control of the island, and then turn the women into sex slaves.
If you did whippets every second of every day for the entirety of your life, I don't think you could kill enough of your brain cells to hatch a plan this unhinged. They planned to lead an expeditionary force via sailboat to this island composed of these two, Gavin and Tanner, plus whatever homeless men they were able to rope into this scheme, and take on 87,000 people. These delusional piss stains thought they were built like Goku or something. That is crazy. Like, fucking Thanos would struggle to beat 87,000 people on his own. Like, it is so unbelievably outrageous that it's hard to even come to terms that this was something they were really trying to do. Like, I can't stress that enough, that this wasn't just some, like, crackpot crazy idea. They were taking steps to actually carry it out. Like, one of them joined the Air Force. And you know how they just mentioned that their plan was to go via sailboat? Well, get a load of this. They had planned all of that, too. They were legitimately dedicating their lives to this invasion.
According to prosecutors, the feds say the plan dates back to August of last year. They say Weisenberg enrolled in a Rockwall Fire Academy to learn command and control protocols, but flunked out in February. They say he then traveled to Thailand to learn how to sail, but didn't enroll in the school due to the cost.
Dipshit Gavin may have been unsuccessful in all of his endeavors, but he did try to learn things to contribute to the invasion effort that they were scheming. So he enrolled in a fire academy to try and learn command and control prompts. He flunked out. He then also was going to learn how to sail via courses in Thailand, but then didn't enroll because he couldn't afford to, I suppose, or was probably too busy spending his money on blow and chicken tendies. But he did, dedicate time to trying to learn these things for this invasion plan. His whole life was revolving around trying to be better equipped for this invasion effort that they were plotting.
The feds say Thomas, meanwhile, enlisted in the Air Force in January and in March changed his station assignment from Germany to Maryland to better coordinate the invasion and recruit the homeless population in D.C.
While Gavin was sucking the mean dick of failure, Tanner, on the other hand, was successful in enlisting in the Air Force and getting this military training to contribute to their efforts here. He changed his station so he could be better equipped to find homeless people to recruit for this too. Both of these men were legitimately dedicating their entire lives to this. This was something they were going to actually follow through on. Tanner moved to an area to better coordinate, plan, and recruit these homeless people for that plan. This is something they were going to do. Now, obviously, I'm sure you don't have to be a mathematician, you don't have to be, fucking Poindexter, a wizard with numbers, to know that if they did truly arrive at Gonav with the intent to murder all of the men there, they themselves would have been killed pretty quickly, I imagine, as they would anywhere in the world if they just come like Yosemite Sam firing from the hip, just killing a bunch of people. They themselves would have been killed very quickly. But the fact is, they would have taken innocent people with them. And that is completely unacceptable. So even though under no circumstances would this invasion have ever actually gone the way they planned, it would have no doubt led to the loss of life.
We reached out to attorneys listed for Weisenberg and did not hear back. We could not find attorneys listed for Thomas. Prosecutors say they face up to life in prison if convicted on the conspiracy to murder charge.
I have a hunch that Tanner probably represented himself. I have no evidence to back up that thought process there, but these two sound just so fucking off their gourd that I actually think Tanner probably is representing himself here in this case. But anyway, they are facing potentially life in prison. 100% they need life in prison. Plus they also have that separate production of child pornography charge. Lock them away forever. Absolutely. By stopping them here, they prevented a tragedy from happening. No doubt in my mind. When I heard this, when I watched this segment here, I was stunned. This has to be one of the craziest stories I've learned about in quite a while. So I just wanted to put this on your radar. That's really about it. So yeah. This is one of the more infuriating stories I've seen in recent times. The injustice here is just unfathomable. Meet Jesse Butler. He is a rapist. Jesse is an 18-year-old that was facing 78 years in prison for heinous crimes, including 10 allegations including rape, battery by strangulation, rape by instrumentation, and domestic assault involving 2 women. He pled no contest to these charges. The evidence is overwhelming. It is irrefutable that he is guilty of these crimes he was charged. There's photo evidence. There is even a video Jesse himself took of him strangling one of his victims till they passed out. There is more proof that Jesse Butler is guilty of all of this rape than there is proof that the sky is blue. This is not a matter of him weaseling his way out of these charges because they were able to muddy the water or something. He literally pled no contest to them. So you would think this would be a slam dunk case to lock a monster away. I think every sane person in this country would hear this story, learn about Jesse Butler, and agree this is just pure evil and there is no reason at all he should be anywhere but behind bars. But we have to remember, not everyone is sane. And some of these people that have a fucking screw loose are also in positions of power, and in this case, a judge. a judge named Susan C. Worthington in Payne County, Oklahoma, who is just a fucking troglodyte homunculus, it seems, that decided that Jesse Butler shouldn't be going to jail for these crimes. No, Susan C. Worthington rolled up her sleeves and ultimately decided that the punishment that fits the crime in this case is a teensy tiny bit of community service with a 1-2 punch of rehab. That is the justice that Susan C. Worthington brought to the victims of this rapist. This guy will not see a prison cell. He is still going to be a free man, even after pleading no contest to these heinous, vile crimes. He is a rapist. And this judge, Susan C. Worthington, has said, that's okay. Well, it's nothing we can't fix here with a little bit of tender love and care and a bit of elbow grease with some community and service. Now, to be clear here, and keep in mind I'm still a little, new to understanding how a lot of this shit works with my fucking Neanderthal brain here. But as I understand it, this wasn't Susan C. Worthington's proposal or anything. This was a plea deal that was reached and was put in front of Susan. She granted it. But she had the ability to reject it. A judge can reject a plea, and especially in a case like this, that would have been the right thing to do. This is a monster that under no circumstances should be afforded this kind of deal. This is someone that should not be able to weasel their way back into society. They are a danger, a menace to everyone around them. So while Susan may not have been the one to theory craft this whole community service and rehab idea, she did agree with it ultimately, that this is the right course of action. So by granting this, to me, that is her putting her stamp of approval on it, that this, in her eyes, is justice. It is fucking unhinged. I think Susan C. Worthington needs to be investigated ASAP. This is protecting a rapist. And there is a body cam of when Jesse Butler was taken into custody, and his mother is very supportive of Jesse, talking about how they're going to get him out and all of that. And it turns out Jesse's family is very well connected in Oklahoma. They have a lot of powerful friends, it seems, over there in Oklahoma.
Of both victims who came forward against Jesse, there is a third victim who, if she hasn't come forward, but can you blame her when you look at this as the justice that they get? Speculation is that Jesse Mac Butler's father is a man by the name of Mac Butler, and he was the head of football operations at OSU. So somebody with deep-rooted ties into the community, and that then leads you to the judge in this case, or one of the judges in this case, Judge Susan Worthington. Between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years. So while you can't necessarily say definitively that, hey, there's this connection here because he's deep-rooted in football.
He goes on to say that it's not difficult mental gymnastics for people to maybe connect these dots or follow these breadcrumbs, that there might be some kind of connection there, considering that this town needs that football program. Like, OSU is a staple of it. Thus, Mac Butler, Jesse Butler's father, is a staple in the community, deep-rooted ties here, and there could be some kind of connection there with him and the Worthingtons. Again, it is something that a lot of people have speculated and taken notice of, to the point where there is now even an authority that is considering investigating this potential connection. And it is very weird how Jesse Butler has these indefensible crimes, yet is not getting any real punishment for it. Is it possible it's because of who his family is? They were very confident that he was going to get away with this. They even said in the body cam we're about to see, his mother said, we're going to win this. It seems like they were really sure that these unforgivable crimes were going to be forgiven here, ultimately, in the eyes of the law in Oklahoma. I wonder if that might have played a role in him getting away without even a slap on the wrist. This isn't even a slap on the wrist, this is a slap on the ass. This is basically Susan C. Worthington and the entire legal system over there in Payne County, Oklahoma, giving him the old keister clapper saying, hey, good work out there, don't worry, we got you covered, we got your back over here in Payne County. It's fucking sickening. It is actually unbelievable. I'm going to show you the body cam real quick because I think it's important you get to see who he's surrounded by, because even though his mother is aware of these crimes, it seems like she's more concerned about her child's future. Like, the actual victim here is Jesse Butler, not the two women that he raped and all of those horrible things he did. It's actually Jesse Butler that, is getting the short end of the stick here and is getting traumatized.
Yeah, so we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs, so turn around for me. You have to put in handcuffs?
Oh man, Jesse's calling the wambulance there. You can see him start to tear up. Oh man, it almost breaks your heart looking at him get all sad like that. And his mom, she's starting to feel it, saying, oh, do you have to put him in handcuffs? Fucking obviously, yes, lady. Of course they have to put him in handcuffs. This guy is a violent rapist. To such an extreme degree, I wouldn't have been surprised if he tried clawing at the fucking cage in the back of the police car to get his hands on one of the officers' necks to strangle them and rape them. This guy is an animal, an absolute fiend. He is a fucking monster. Of course they need to put him in handcuffs.
Transport somebody in custody.
You know we're doing this. It's okay. Yeah. I'll get you out. For me? Alright. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Just stay strong, okay? Say your prayers. Awful experience for the child.
What she said while Jesse was walking to the police car there actually made my stomach turn. She said, what an awful experience for a child. Lady, your son raped 2 women. Numerous times. He nearly killed one of them with the strangulation, by the way. And you're saying that him going to jail here, like in handcuffs, is the awful experience for the child? What about the victims? What do you think about that? Do you think that wasn't an awful experience? Like this is worse? Like Jesse's the one we should actually feel bad for here? I understand it must be extremely difficult to wrestle with this reality that your child is a monster. I can't even imagine what that's like. That would be soul crushing. But to wipe your ass with reality and just blindly support them to the point where you will do anything to ensure they don't actually get punished for the very real crimes they committed that you yourself are aware of. Again, this isn't a matter of like his parents believe he's innocent or something. Everybody knows he's guilty. He has even pled no contest. The evidence is irrefutable. So they know he is a rapist, and yet they have fought tooth and nail to ensure he doesn't go to jail for it. In my eyes, that makes them very bad people as well. They are knowingly ensuring a rapist is back in society. And since this punishment, I can't even use that word. That word does not apply here. That stretches the definition. This is not even a punishment. What they gave him is chores to do now. That's it. Where he does like a bit of community and service, and then he does like a rehab program, and they tried to make it seem like this was like a super strict sexual offender rehab program. I don't want to get into like the weeds of how they ended up at this ruling. I recommend you watch the Law and Crime video. They do a good job breaking it down. But basically, to my understanding, is they legally de-aged him like Robert De Niro in The Irishman here. They rewound time, gave him the fucking time infinity stone, so that way he could fit into the youth sex offenders program, so he would no longer be like an adult in the eyes of the law for these crimes that he was being tried for, so that way he could be part of this rehab program. And they said, you know, if he reoffends, he could be facing 10 years in jail. We're really sticking it to him. This is super strict stuff. And I truly think, I really believe, that this is so weak, so flimsy, that the lesson Jesse Butler learned here is that he can get away with anything. And that the only reason he got caught is because his victims survived. So I bet that if he continues to be a free man, it won't be long until he rapes again, and this time he will not leave them alive. That's what I think is going to happen down the line as a result of this ruling here. They have let a monster back into society, and they have now said to that monster, he's untouchable. So I think there's going to be a corpse on their hands at some point because of this. Jesse Butler is a rapist. Jesse Butler is an evil, evil rapist, and everyone that played a role in him getting away with his crimes needs to be held accountable for it. There needs to be an investigation into this. There needs to be real fucking justice here. This is absolutely sickening, and I just had to yap about this today. It's crazy. That's about it. So yeah. It's rare that I can't yap up a wacky intro, but learning about this menace has left me stunned. I just saw this video from EWU body cams about this guy that would hide cameras in like every bathroom on the planet, it seems like. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got hidden cameras in my own porcelain throne territory there. Like he's infiltrated my domain and is filming me.
I'm calling because we just received an anonymous tip that someone has a camera in our employee bathroom and is uploading videos online.
You still haven't raised my charges. Where's our charges? You're not supposed to be judgmental to anybody's crimes, by the way.
What the hell is even that? You're not supposed to be judgmental of crimes? I don't remember hearing that in the Miranda rights. I can't even really imagine that. Like, you show up to a murder scene, you catch the suspect, and you just happen to say, like, hey, buddy, look, I don't mean to be judgmental here, but you strike me as a bit of a jerk for this, you know, taking a lot of human lives here. I know, sue me, I don't mean to judge. I feel like as far as judgment goes, crimes are a pretty solid one for people to form an opinion on, rightfully so. If you are found guilty of secretly recording thousands of people using the restroom, you're a fucking freak and people will judge you as such.
On July 19th, 2022, the police in Ann Arbor, Michigan responded to the Briarwood shopping mall after receiving this unusual call about video footage from a store bathroom being uploaded online. Horrifically, the resulting investigation into a tech-savvy peeping Tom would spread throughout the city of Ann Arbor. The final number of cameras and victims is enough to make your skin crawl.
It's not exaggerating either. It actually did, by the end of this investigation, have my fucking jaw on the floor with how many cameras and how many videos and how all over the place it was. There wasn't a bathroom in Michigan that was spared his peeping. Like, this guy is like the supervillain of shitters. There was nowhere safe, no porcelain throne left unsullied by his eyes. His near omniscient eyes. He dedicated his whole life, put his soul into his craft of spying on every bathroom in Michigan. He was literally like the architect from The Matrix.
This morning it was my boss who took the phone call. I don't know what time it was this morning from a restricted number. He was like, it's a restricted website, you're not going to find it, but I just wanted to let you know.
The responding officer headed to the bathroom to take a look for herself. Notably, the bathroom was usually reserved for employees.
Like sideways, yeah, on that shelf. But, I mean, I don't know how. I know they can be tiny.
Police would learn soon enough that the employees at Altered State were not the only ones to have their privacy violated. In an unanticipated shocker, the police would find over 200 hidden camera videos from no less than 7 different bathrooms throughout the city over the next month and a half.
So this was the first domino to fall here that led them down this crazy trail. They found so many cameras and videos from this guy. It was like actually hunting Riddler trophies in the Arkham series. It was crazy. He violated so many people's privacy, spied on so many people, and it turns out this is only the tip of the iceberg because he actually has a previous case very similar to this, and had in his possession 7,000 videos of unclothed or partially clothed individuals that he filmed without their consent. 7,000! That's more than, like, all of Markiplier's uploads since he started YouTube. That is an unbelievable amount. And that was in the course of 5 years from 2010 to 2015. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but this guy's entire life has been dedicated to violating people's privacy.
All were filmed without consent between January and July 2022. Horrifically, this included illegal images of children. The depravity didn't stop there. When searching the offender's laptop, the police found he had engaged with online adult websites, where images and personal information of unknowing victims were distributed. Police suspected the culprit intended to participate in such exchanges after they found additional images of the victims taken from social media downloaded to his laptop.
Just when you thought it couldn't get worse. So, it's pretty clear he was also sharing these with other fucking evil creeps out there, and was even distributing personal information of the people that he would identify through these hidden cameras. So, from the sound of things, he would broadcast this onto restricted websites, and additionally, he also had illegal images of children. This guy is legitimate evil.
Even though the anonymous caller believed the video he saw was a live stream, he could have been mistaken. The working theory was that the culprit could have put the camera up at the start of a shift and then taken it home to upload the footage.
So, back to what started this whole trail of breadcrumbs that they followed was an anonymous caller tipped them off that at this altered state in this restroom, there was a live stream of people using that bathroom, of course being non-consensually filmed. And so, officer went to the scene. They searched high and low for a camera, but they couldn't find it. But they did see that a lot had been, like, adjusted and moved around. So it's not that they completely disregarded this as just some kind of, like, phony baloney nonsense. It's one of those things where they started speculating, well, maybe it wasn't a live stream, maybe they had taken the camera home and uploaded the footage to those sites, and the caller was just mistaken, thinking that it was live.
Something else the anonymous caller said prevented the current lack of evidence from stonewalling the investigation. The man fitting the caller's description was 36-year-old Eric Deshaun Morton. This was not his first run-in with police.
But everyone said he was going to the bathroom a lot last night, and they thought that he just, was trying to not work.
It seemed likely that Eric was up to something far more nefarious than just slacking.
Yeah, jacking. This disgusting asshole has an entire history of doing shit like this. The anonymous caller was telling them about someone that could have been behind it, and the person they described fit this man's description. So they looked into him a bit. They were talking about how the previous night he was going to the bathroom a lot. I guess he drank way too much soda, so he just had the big-time pee-pee, a lot of urine in his bladder. But they speculated, this is probably when he was setting up the camera or tending to the camera.
Especially when the manager added that he made a habit of using the ladies' restroom rather than the men's room. When he was previously asked about this, Eric made the excuse that he used the ladies' room because it was stocked with gloves, which he said he liked to wear while he worked.
A bulletproof defense right there. It's watertight. Man rolled a 20 on the charisma check. That was impressive. So he had a habit of using the ladies' room, and his reason for it was, well, they have gloves there. I like gloves. Checkmate. Damn, his story checks out. This guy's good.
After learning that Eric's son was present, the officers decided to uncuff him. They escorted his son outside to play and brought out some snacks to keep the child occupied while the search progressed. A pen camera containing a micro SD card was connected via USB. When going through one of the bedrooms, they found a small black bag containing more hidden cameras, some of which were like the pen camera found in the living room. Computer forensics experts discovered his stash of more than 200 secretly recorded videos of people using the bathroom.
Unsurprisingly, the authorities didn't necessarily buy the excuse he used for the ladies' room being the really nice gloves that they have stocked in there, so they ended up getting a search warrant. They then arrived at his abode. He mentioned his son was there, so they brought his son outside to play while they searched the house. While searching, they found tons of hidden cameras. They even found a pin camera that was actively plugged into a computer. So you had all these Mission Impossible doodads and gadgets, all of which used for surveillance, hidden surveillance. And they confiscated some packages and a lot of this for evidence. And then eventually, the forensics experts found his stash, which was 200 videos of people using the bathroom. Which, maybe there's a perfectly valid explanation. Maybe he was just checking to make sure they weren't doing back-to-front wiping, because, that in and of itself is a sin. Maybe he was just looking out for people's well-being, ensuring proper wiping technique, Maybe there's a perfectly justifiable excuse that he was secretly recording all of these people. Authorities got an arrest warrant. They went to his other job at a hotel and arrested him there, which surprisingly was not his first run-in with the authorities. In fact, in 2015, he was arrested for very similar things.
He'd previously been arrested back in 2015, coincidentally by some of the same officers. In May 2015, Eric was arrested after a woman caught him filming her through a peephole while she used a porta-potty. Further investigation revealed more of Eric's disturbing behavior.
He tried to film a stranger through a porta-potty peephole. I didn't even know porta-potties had peepholes. I'm assuming he custom-built that himself, fucking threw a glory hole in there and used it to film people. Or maybe he, built his own, soundstage that looked like a porta potty so it could film people. I don't know, it's fucking crazy though. The lunacy knows no bounds. And he would actually proudly post about shit on Twitter too. So like they bring up tweets here. Like the first one they show about him cleaning out his phone, and then he has the gall to say "in Jesus' name."
In 2022, Eric was confronted by a coworker who found a camera disguised as a phone charger in the women's restroom. It was plugged in and facing the toilet. Eric insisted it was a regular phone charger and fled with the device. Unsurprisingly, he was fired from his job.
I'm assuming this footage they're showing comes from his Twitter, or maybe like he had a TikTok account where he's doing this loser shit like Naruto running while doing a 360. I have no idea. But it is unbelievable the links he would go to for this depravity. So he had a hidden camera phone charger, like this fucking crazy like spy gadget that he plugged into a wall outlet in the bathroom and had faced the toilet. Like, you can't trust any household objects in Michigan while this guy was on the loose. I didn't realize technology reached the point where we could disguise phone chargers as hidden cameras. So good on the astute observer that happened to pick up on that and then confronted him about it, which of course he denied, and then he snatched it away and Naruto ran off into the distance. But like, it's just crazy. Like, there was nothing sacred in bathrooms across Michigan. You think that that's a skid mark in the toilet from a previous poop? Nope. Actually a hidden camera from Eric. You think your parents are actually your parents? Nope. Actually DARPA drones that Eric designed for the sole purpose of trying to convince you to go to the bathroom so they could spy on you for Eric's hard drive. Like, it's unbelievable how many cameras he was setting up in bathrooms across the entire area.
The case escalated to a whole new level when the police found an appalling 7,000 videos of unclothed or partially clothed people in Eric's possession. Some had even been recorded in a private residence. They also found images taken up women's skirts, which suggested he had a camera device attached to his shoe. This particular unpleasant collection dated all the way back to 2010.
7,000 videos. And also, turns out he was a notorious upskirt pervert creep. He put a camera on his shoes so he could take those pictures. And I'm guessing by that tweet would even post it on Twitter. Like, he would publicly post the upskirts, it seems. Or at least some of them. What? Also, it turns out he was arrested in 2006, but that one had actually been scrubbed from the records. That shit was like the cloning planet from Star Wars. Like, it had just been removed from the archives because of a program to try and help young first-time offenders or something like that. Anyway, he posted his $100,000 bail. He did get picked up again later. Turns out him getting arrested didn't mean shit to him. In fact, through some of what they recovered, they were able to actually figure out the timing of a good chunk of it, and some of it he had recorded after being discharged the same day. So he just kind of viewed getting arrested as like a nuisance. It wasn't actually a deterrent or anything for him. It was just kind of like a bump in the road, like he hit a pothole. So now all of a sudden he would have less videos that day, but he still went right back to it the second he had the ability to. It's fucking nuts. And then, in the back of the police car, this is where that clip in the beginning comes from. He then tries like a bunch of like weird conversational tactics and gotchas to try and like, I don't know, strengthen his case of innocence while in the back. And that eventually leads him to stating that the officer is not supposed to be judgmental of crime. So now he starts to try and lecture the officer on morality.
You're not supposed to be judgmental to anybody's crimes, by the way. I need your badge number, by the way.
I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, when I say I do worse, when you say I do worse stuff when I was getting in the car.
No, when you said
you're not supposed to do that.
Don't fight. And I said you're right. It's worse.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that.
Why am I not?
Because you're not supposed to judge crimes. You're supposed to be.
What are you talking about?
All right, man.
Not exactly Phoenix Wright, but a very interesting tactic to try nonetheless. You judged my crime. I'm going to need your badge number. You're not allowed to do that. And the officer's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Didn't even do that.
In 2024, Eric was convicted of 13 felonies. Eric was sentenced to 8 to 20 years and will not be eligible for parole until 2030. The true number of Eric Morton's victims, along with the identity of the anonymous caller who started the investigation, will likely never be known.
They successfully identified 15 victims, and Eric was convicted on these 13 felonies, so he's facing 8 to 20 years. Ideally, he'll get the full 20 behind bars, but the thing is, even 2 decades in the slammer, I feel like the day he gets released, he's going right back to it. He's hopping right back in the saddle. He has been doing this for over a decade, and no matter how many times he's been taken into custody and arrested, or even been in jail for these crimes, he then gets right back to it. Like, this is, to him, his life's mission. This is why he was put on this earth. To compromise bathrooms. It's fucking sickening. Anyway, though, I wanted to just talk about this a little bit. This story just had me stunned. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Whoa. Yeah, I just learned about the whole Lakari thing. Jinkies. So for like about a year or so, I was very offline. I set out to leave these 4 walls of the old loony bin more often to go breathe in the fresh air and really appreciate the Lord's land out there in the real world. So I was missing a lot of like the happenings in the internet space and all the drama for the most part. But over the last month or so, I've fallen off the wagon. I put the needle back in my arm to a certain degree because I wanted to see all the craziness going on in the world to stay up to date with everything that was happening. And as such, I've been much more online now and seeing a lot more of these kind of things. And today was a doozy with everything that just happened with a streamer named Lakari. Lakari is a streamer I've been loosely familiar with for a while, and I know he had built up a reputation for being like a turbo maximum overdrive gooner, like a self-proclaimed hentai connoisseur, basically setting the goon dial to freaky mode. And today on stream, he accidentally leaked his notepad that was filled with despicable and disgusting shit.
K feeds. Let me at least add way to the list of champions that I like. Fuck.
The links are censored there, but apparently a lot of people have taken the plunge into looking up a lot of what was revealed here through the Lakari leaks, and what they have found is beyond heinous. Like, this is some evil shit we're talking about here. Things like family nudism, apparently. Like, that's some real pedophile shit right there. Also, like, teens and animals. In that notepad there, you might have saw one of the tabs that said JBT. It was like 500 JBT. Apparently that stands for jailbait teens. Like, it's bad. Like, really, really bad. And after this happened, his stream was calling him out on it. And most people expected him to, in the stream, to like hide the evidence, nuke it, basically banish it to the Shadow Realm and hope that people didn't have enough time to dig into it. Lakari, on the other hand, cooked up a different kind of scheme. He streamed for multiple hours after this happened, and just fucking face-tanked everybody that was digging into it, and all the people that were rightfully calling him out for how deplorable the shit they found in there was. So he kept streaming through this, and people were obviously researching what the fuck had just been revealed through this notepad and everything on there. And then he was trying to defend himself by saying like, oh, this was sent to me, or oh, it was actually a virus, or this and that. And then the stream, they weren't really buying that load of barnacles, so then they asked him to do something like show his notepad recents, to show what else had been on his notepad recently. And apparently he took quite a long time not doing that when requested by his chat. According to members that were asking this of him, he was looking at like his other monitor, potentially doing something there, and then eventually he showed his notepad. And the keen observers might notice a little something in front of their peepers that's a bit fishy.
Fap for Fun? Fap for Fun is a hentai site. You also visit Fap for Fun? Yeah, I download a lot of that shit. Couples? Okay. That's literally, is that not the, that's the file with the sus shit in it. Like, It says one thing, but it has a bunch of such shit in it. So I don't understand. Like,
when he showed the recents on Notepad, there are 3 new text documents. And it doesn't take a super sleuth. You don't need Inspector Gadget to come in with some high-level tools in order to crack this case. The most likely reason is because when he looked at his recents in Notepad, there were probably some really awful things there that he knew people would pick up on. So then he opened some new text documents in Notepad to push those down out of the recents so people couldn't see them. That's the theory. That's just the game theory, but I imagine that's probably pretty accurate. Anyway though, his big claim from what I can tell with all the surviving clips here is that this is the result of a virus that uploaded this to his computer, and he had already removed it, but unfortunately that damn Windows 11, that dastardly bastard that is Windows 11, for some reason kept it around, which is really weird and odd.
How does it end up there? Okay, let me explain what happened. All right? I was surfing a site. Okay? The shit got downloaded. Like, I didn't trigger a fucking download. It just got downloaded. I opened up the fucking text document. I saw what was in it. I deleted the text document. I deleted it. But the problem with Windows 11 is that even if you delete the text document, it apparently still stays there. So it was still there after I deleted it. I've told you guys 1,000 times that's what happened. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I have like a fucking 3 terabytes of fucking hentai on my fucking hard drive, bro. Like a lot. Sometimes you go to a site, some shit downloads on your shit, you don't fucking want it, you fucking delete it, and that's just what happened, man. Okay? Like, that's what happened. I'm sorry, all right? Like, I don't know how many times I have to explain this, but that's what happened. Dude, let's just move the fuck on, please.
A very interesting, innovative defense strategy that could make a lawyer throw himself down a set of stairs. So he's saying that he's got 3 terabytes of hentai, which, just take a moment and process that, really let that marinate. That is an absurd amount of anything to have. This guy is basically compiling the fucking Library of Alexandria for hentai on his devices. That's fucking crazy. But he's saying that, you know, like Thanos, it was inevitable that this kind of content would somehow end up on his computer when downloading all this hentai. It happens, you know? It is what it is. And then when he deleted it, Windows 11 went rogue. The ghost in the machine. It wouldn't let the notepad die. Like a necromancer, it revived it. And once again, brought it back to life on Lakari's device. Even though he himself deleted it, he tried to take it down. Windows 11 said no. That's the claim, that when he was downloading all the hentai, he noticed that this got downloaded too, so he deleted it, but Windows 11 has a feature that kept it around even after he deleted it, and he didn't plan on having this stuff in the first place. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't really pass the smell test. It is very hard to believe. Now, what is true about Windows 11, and Notepad in particular, is if you are working in Notepad, and you don't save your work, like if you exit out of it or your computer crashes and you don't save it, Windows 11 can restore it. It will actually restore that even if you didn't explicitly save it. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll open Notepad, brand new, wow, brown fox jumped over the lazy log. I have clearly not saved, I have not done anything here, I have just typed into this and you can see that the title matches the text in the document. Now if I was to close out of it, I haven't saved or anything like that, but if I open Notepad again, it's still there. Even though this is not a document or anything that I have saved, because it will save sessions. In Lakari's case, the text didn't match the title, which means he most likely had a separate title for those sections, and also he said that he deleted it. If I was to delete this, if I told this don't save, delete it, Notepad would not restore it. At least I don't think there's any way for it to, but maybe Licari's working with a prototype notepad that refuses to let anything die. It saves all work no matter what you tell it to do. I find it unlikely, but I guess it's possible, potentially. Actually, here, let's play with that idea again real quick. Let's say Licari went, I'll just go the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy log again. I haven't saved it or anything, but let's just go ahead and pretend that I came here and I said don't save. But once again, to show the whole process, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to close out of this. I'm going to reopen it, and it's still there, because it does save sessions like that. But if I came over here and I explicitly said don't save, and now I exit out of this, it will no longer open that. So I find his claim very hard to believe.
43K? And that's if they think it's like... Oh my fucking god. Bro, it's not worth it. Just fucking delete my hard drive.
This is him on stream now looking at the legality of Lolly in his state, Texas. He doesn't fully understand what he's looking at, but he can recognize that it's not good, and then he eventually says that he's just going to delete his hard drive. It's not worth it. Now, call me crazy, maybe I'm on the crack pipe, but that just doesn't exactly sound like a statement from an innocent man. Like, if you've done nothing wrong and there's nothing suspicious, illegal, or like pedophilic or anything like that, why would you then be saying that you're going to delete your hard drive? It's not worth it. That's very fishy, I'll tell you. And again, from that leak, from that notepad, the things that have been allegedly turned up from all of it are fucking unforgivable. Like, really disgusting, terrible shit. And him then saying, like, just delete the hard drive, it's not worth it. Again, that doesn't really seem like behavior from someone that has nothing to hide.
I'm joking about it! What the fuck, dude? What are you just writing your own narrative? You're just writing your own narrative, man! What the fuck else do you want me to do? What do you want to do? I'm so sorry! I didn't do anything! I didn't fucking do anything! That's why I'm not fucking crying and sobbing, bitch! I didn't fucking do anything, dumbass! You just want me to be guilty so fucking bad! Shut the fuck up, retard! Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so sick of this! You want me to be guilty so fucking...
Yeah, like I said, he continued streaming for hours, so obviously people were talking about it for a long time. He snaps eventually and kind of goes ballistic about it, saying like he didn't do anything. Again, I find that kind of hard to believe given everything that happened on stream, at least from the surviving clips that are out there from it. It does not look good. This looks fucking awful. And Licari got a ban on Twitch for all of this. Apparently he even got banned on Kick. I don't know if he like actively streams on Kick or if that was like a preemptive thing from Kick because they thought he'd go over there after he got banned on Twitch. I don't know, but if you try and go to Licari's Twitch account, it has been removed as of right now in light of everything that happened during this stream. Again, I find it unlikely that this unfolded the way Licari is claiming that it did, but I guess we'll see. I'm assuming there will probably be, an actual kind of investigation here, judging by what was allegedly found in some of that leaked from Licari. Anyway, I had to yap about this a bit. Fucking crazy, man. That's really about it. See ya. Have you ever heard the stories of the Burbank butt sniffer? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. The Burbank butt sniffer is a menace who's been on the prowl for a long time now, but rose to infamy about 2 years ago in the public eye with a TikTok video that captured him in the act at a Barnes & Noble's on a serial sniffing spree.
Staring at me. It felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following. I couldn't tell if I was being paranoid or if he was just reading a book and he just happened to be in that little corner. Anyways, I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual fuck? And the whole time I'm thinking I'm fine because he hasn't said anything or touched me or anything. But then you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know.
What are you doing?
I was so freaked out.
His voice when she asks him what he's doing, where it's like trembling and panting almost. My shoe. Like that right there is haunting. He literally sounds demented and evil. Like some kind of conniving creep from a cartoon. He sounds like a villain from a CW production, but he's not make-believe. This is a real sex offender. So in this video, you can see him sniff her rear end and then go to another woman in another aisle doing a similar thing where he's like on the ground, you know, tinkering with some books, but then he like sneaks a smell in. He's basically treating Barnes & Noble's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of whiffing tookuses, and he got caught here. He got arrested. He's actually been arrested multiple times. He is a sex offender, but it feels like they just don't really take his crimes all that seriously because this guy gets caught and released more often than a bass in a lake. Like, you can find articles and even videos of this guy doing this shit for years. Like, here's another one from quite a while ago, also prowling the local bookstore.
Hey, are you following me?
No. My bad.
Yeah.
In this clip, you can even see he had hair. Kind of like how One Punch Man trained so hard he went bald. This guy sniffed so much ass he went bald. He does not stop. He is a maniac on the loose. And he continues to just get set free to keep repeating this over and over and over again. You can find almost countless reports of him going to multiple different locations, just huffing as much fumes as he can from strangers' keisters. It's so fucking weird that the authorities just let him out so willy-nilly. And surprise, surprise, the reason I'm talking about it again today is he has just been arrested again for doing the same thing, this time in a Nordstrom. Before showing you his newest degeneracy, I'd like to make a brief mention that today is Forge Day. So Starforge is doing its biggest sale of the year where you can get up to $1,000 off PCs. So click the link in the description below to get yourself a Starforge PC.
And previously captured on a TikTok video lurking too close for comfort near unsuspecting women has been caught on camera again committing a similar act. The suspect has been arrested, this time for following women inside a Nordstrom rack in Burbank.
Real quick, I've got to just make a mention of something here. Take a close look at his mugshot. Anything look out of the ordinary here? His fucking ears. What is going on with those puppies there? He's got Shrek ears. His ears look like Fred Burger's nose. Man glued 2 bugles to the side of his head and thought people wouldn't notice. Like, what in tarnation?
Micah, it's almost too creepy to talk about, right? A man sniffing women inside local stores. I talked to Burbank police about it tonight, and they told me they consider him absolutely dangerous.
So dangerous that they keep letting him out with just a slap on the wrist. Yeah, it really seems like they take his threat very seriously. He is dangerous. This guy is a sex offender who is preying on his victims, and the authorities keep letting him out to repeat that cycle over and over and over again. They're not doing a whole lot to protect people from this guy that they consider to be very dangerous.
38-year-old Khalees Crowder of Glendale was arrested, but now it appears he's been at it again, this time preying on women in the Nordstrom rack in the Empire Shopping Center.
Wandered into the women's section of the store. There's a solo female and a female standing there alone shopping, and he's did the same kind of behavior that we'd seen in the past. Get close to the female, crouch down, pretend as if he was looking at items or, searching for something, and unfortunately conducted in some lewd behavior.
The officer describes his MO. It's the exact same tactics that he's used at so many other locations in the past. He apparently crouched down, fiddles with some items to make it seem like he's looking for products, but what he's actually doing is just getting into optimal olfactory position, crouching near a woman, so that way he can stick his nose near her rear end and take a huff before leaving. It's concerning that the authorities don't, actually punish him for a meaningful duration. They just let him out so willy-nilly. I don't know if the authorities just expect the women to plan for this as some kind of everyday occurrence, like, listen ladies, Burbank butt sniffer's back on the loose. He was in jail for the last 3 days, but our hands are tied, so he's out there, so maybe don't wipe your ass this morning. Go ahead and let it crust, because if you're at a store, there's a chance he's there, and maybe you'll scare him straight with a pungent stench. You gotta take matters into your own hands, because we're not doing anything.
Within minutes, Burbank police caught up with the suspect in a nearby Walmart. Crowder has a long history of peeping, prowling, and burglary. He's a registered sex offender and was on parole. Tonight, he's locked up again, being held on $100,000 bail.
He's all over Burbank, Glendale, who knows where else.
We talked with women at the Empire Shopping Center tonight who say Crowder should not be on the streets.
It's ridiculous, and it's such a violation of privacy and space, and I can't believe that they let him out. He needs to stay in there.
I think she's right. I think it's very clear that if this guy is not in jail, he is nose deep in strangers' asses. And not only that, he has a long history of other things as well, as mentioned in the report. He is just a career criminal. It is absurd that they keep letting him out so fucking frequently, and then they always have to go arrest him again because he is preying on more victims. Come on, it's absurd. In 2023, he was arrested on suspicion of peeping and prowling at a Glendale home where children were present, and had previously served time in a state prison on burglary and robbery charges, being sentenced in February 2023 to a year in jail for indecent exposure in Santa Clarita. However, he was released early anyway.
Witter feels he never should have gotten the chance to victimize anyone else. Court documents show he was out on parole with a history of convictions for lewd conduct dating back to 2021.
It's crazy to think that someone like this, who's constantly stalking and violating these people, is allowed to be out and about.
We took those concerns to police, asking why he wasn't behind bars.
Yeah, obviously it's frustrating, but we can do what we need to do.
That's really all he had to say when asked about that. We do what we need to do, which I find to be a bit of a peculiar response. Not really. You're not really doing what you need to do, which is protecting people from this guy, which you've had the ability to do by actually punishing him accordingly instead of letting him out early. Which seems to be a common occurrence. You're not really doing what you need to do. And the victims are all kind of saying the same thing. Why the fuck does he keep getting let out, on parole and, just getting let out early to go victimize more people? It's pretty ridiculous. I think they're right. It is ridiculous. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya. I've talked about some deplorable evil people on this channel, and a lot of the times, the people I cover do face, very real punishment for being monsters. That's not always the case, though. Last month, I made a video talking about Jesse Butler, the rapist. Jesse Butler, the rapist, was facing 10 rape-related charges, looking at a potential 78-year sentence. And this isn't a case of he was framed. Turns out he was innocent, completely blameless. It was the damn deep state working on a crazy conspiracy to throw an innocent man behind bars. No, there's overwhelming evidence to confirm this, including a video he himself took of a strangulation on one of his victims that, according to experts, would have literally killed her if he continued for even seconds longer. He is a rapist. He is a turbo rapist, in fact. And you would expect, given that this is so cut and dry, he would be behind bars for the rest of his life. Well, you'd be wrong to assume that, bozo, because it turns out his family, they've got some real leverage over there in Oklahoma. So much so that the judge and everyone involved in this case thought it was appropriate that he doesn't go to the slammer. Instead, they came up with a fate worse than death. Community service. Yep. His punishment will be no jail time, no nothing. He continues to breathe the free air, be a free man, And all he has to do is complete some community service, do like a phone call, check in weekly, and then some sex offender treatment. They're treating this animal like he stole a balloon on Free Balloon Day. This is absolutely preposterous, and in a sane society, it would lead to everyone involved in this catastrophic ruling not only fired, but also thrown in jail themselves, and then re-sentencing Jesse Butler to a life in prison. Like, it's not a matter of if he did it, they know he did it, and they just don't care. Let me show you what Susan C. Worthington looks like, the judge presiding over this case. I want to put a face to the name so you can see what a rape defender looks like. She is totally okay with this course of action, or really lack of action. Payne County District Attorney Laura Austin Thomas also seems to be enthusiastically on board with this, confirming that his sentence requires him to complete his rehabilitation plan successfully, including an aggressive schedule of therapy with a specialist in sex offender treatment, and should he fail, he faces reclassification as an adult and a sentence of 10 years in prison. That aggressive schedule of therapy, from what I'm seeing, is basically just weekly check-ins. Whoa! Holy shit, how is he going to survive that? Man, that actually might be harder than going to prison for 78 years. He has to call somebody once a week to talk about, like, his feelings, and probably still raping on the side. Like I said in the last video covering this, him getting away with this, the only lesson he's learned is that he can literally do whatever he wants and he's untouchable, he's invincible. So I imagine, not long into the future, he will rape again, and this time, he might kill his victim. He got very close to a fatal strangulation on his last one, and maybe the lesson he took away is that the reason he got caught is because his victims survived. So, maybe next time around he won't let them survive. I think there is going to be blood on all of these people's hands. Now, I want to also show you a picture of Lauren Austin Thomas because I think it's important you see all of the rape defenders here. Now, of course, it's not just these two worms responsible. This is a long process with tons of clowns in the circus that led to this disaster, but these were the only two pictures I could find to associate with them. But, yeah. Jesse Butler is free. He doesn't even have to register on anything, by the way, so he's going to go completely under the radar, incognito. He could be in your backyard raping your dog right now if you're in Oklahoma. Sleep in fear. Just sickening, disgusting stuff. Susan and Laura have sent a very clear, very loud message to the entire world that if you're a rapist, come on down to Payne County, Oklahoma. That's a place you can call home. They'll even pop champagne to welcome you and do everything in their power to protect the rapists. Now, anyway, the reason why I'm yapping about this again is because Jesse Butler, the rapist, just had another hearing where a lot of people turned up to protest this complete affront to God that has unfolded here.
Jesse, why did you rape those girls, Jesse? Jesse, why did you rape the girls? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? You have anything to say to the victims? Being loud is not a violation. Sir, you have anything to say to the victims? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape them, Jesse? Why did you rape the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape those girls? Why did you strangle them, Jesse? You raped those girls, Jesse. Do you have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape those girls? Are you as dumb as they say you are, Jesse? Is that why you were adjudicated a juvenile, because you're that stupid? Are you that dumb, Jesse? Why did you rape the girls? Jackie, why are you defending your rapist son? Why did you rape him?
Do you feel bad for being a rapist, Jesse?
Why did you rape him?
From what I've read and what I understand, there were a lot of people that showed up to express their outrage over this whole situation here. Payne County is very upset. But it doesn't seem like anything's happening at an upper level with Susan or Laura's jobs potentially going into the gutter, which I think they should. That should absolutely just be flushed right down the shitter because this is not justice. They are clearly not actually looking for justice. They are knowingly allowing a rapist to walk free. I do think they should lose their jobs, and a lot of people showed up to echo similar sentiments about how ridiculous this whole thing is. The sentencing has already happened. This was just like a further hearing that people wanted to show up at to let their voices be heard about how unacceptable this is. So it's all done and dusted. He is not going to jail. He's not going on any kind of registry. He's not going to face any real punishment. All he's going to be doing is some community and service, then like a bit of therapy work, I suppose. That is what Susan, Laura, and the squad of fucking vermin deemed appropriate for the crime of rape, violent rape, numerous counts of rape, as well as a near fatal strangulation. It's unthinkable. It's so unbelievably corrupt. I encourage all of you to look deeper into this case because, I mean, I covered a little bit of it in the video I made on it last time, but there is some really interesting connections with Jesse Butler's family, and not only the judge, but kind of everyone in that area where his family, they do hold a lot of power. Perhaps that played a role in allowing a violent rapist to be free on the streets. Food for thought, I suppose. As you saw in that clip, there are a lot of people following Jesse around, bringing up that he is a monster. And since he's not going to jail, hopefully people will never forget who Jesse Butler is, a rapist. And he should be reminded of that fact every day so people can steer clear of him. It should follow him around like a fucking cloud over his head, like it's a cartoon with like rain falling on him. Like it is literally a rapist that is a danger to everyone around him. And since the justice system over there in Payne County, Oklahoma didn't want to take it into their hands and do something about it, it's up to the citizens to keep each other informed that Jesse Butler is someone that should be avoided at all costs and ostracized from the rest of the community at the very least so he can't prey on more victims. He is someone that should never know a moment of peace and relaxation. He is someone that people should literally sound the rape alarm anytime they see him around. He is a fucking monster who got away with it. It is just so infuriating. It is beyond sickening. And I think there should be extreme calls to action for Susan, Laura, and the rest of the system that allowed this to happen. They need to lose their position. I 100% believe they are not fit for their job. They are clearly not actually in the pursuit of justice. The only takeaway you can have from the handling of this case is that the Payne County upper brass here in the justice system is on the side of rapists. It is inarguable. How the fuck can you allow them to continue to hold those positions? There needs to be some kind of governing body to come in and say, no, enough is enough. You're fired. Also, we're going to pursue charges of our own against you for this shit. That's what I think should happen. If there's any real justice out there, I think that's what should 100% fucking happen, because this is just unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. Anyway, though, I'll stop blabbering about it. That's about it. So, yeah. Let's do a little role-playing here, a little thespian exercise. You're going to play the judge, and I'm going to be presenting a case to you. It's the case of a university student being caught red-handed with over 100 videos on his phone of him secretly filming women using the toilet. He was even caught in the act filming a woman using the bathroom. And now I present to you this irrefutable evidence where there is no wiggle room for some kind of alternate explanation. There is no way to weasel out of this being him filming these videos without permission, non-consensually, in a private setting, the toilet. Now, I, as the fun-size lawyer, present to you this case. What do you rule? What do you think is punishment that fits that crime? I would wager a guess that if you've got all your marbles about you, you would rightfully say that jail time is in order for a perverted, unremorseful freak like this. Now, what if I told you this drama exercise wasn't all make-believe? This is a case that just unfolded in Australian court, and the judge ruled that the punishment for this individual wasn't jail time. It was a very stern, hands-on-the-hip wiggling of the finger saying, now don't do that again.
He secretly filmed women inside toilets and showers, but Barefoot Cow doesn't appreciate the camera being pointed at him.
Mr. Cow, why did you upskirt women?
The Melbourne University biomedicine student, originally from Vietnam, walking from court on a community corrections order.
How peculiar that the guy who was addicted to upskirting women and taking non-consensual videos of them using the bathroom doesn't like to be filmed himself. Well, isn't that just the strangest thing? So this is 23-year-old Bao Cao. He is a biomedical student in Australia, and he was caught with over 100 videos of him secretly filming women in bathrooms. They mention like shower. He was caught in the act of filming a woman using the toilet. That's how they actually apprehended him. She noticed that he was secretly filming her while she was on the toilet. He was apparently holding his phone close to the wall, and she took notice of that, alerted security. They came in there and actually caught him red-handed here. Also, according to a couple articles, this is apparently not even the first time that he's had a run-in with the law for identical issues here. The offender had been sentenced twice before, receiving a community corrections order in July 2025 on the same matter, and May 2025 relating to an incident in October of 2024.
Now is supposed to be in Melbourne studying to become a neurosurgeon. Instead, he's been exposed as a serial pervert. 3-year-old was living at Rooming Cos, a CBD student accommodation in the city. A fellow female student was showering when she noticed someone holding a mobile phone under her cubicle. It belonged to Cow and he was arrested soon after. Police then discovered hundreds of secret images and videos of young women. There could be up to 150 alleged victims.
This is from a couple months ago with a previous run-in he had with authorities here, and surprise, surprise, the strategy of doing nothing and hoping that the bad guy stops being a bad guy didn't exactly work. In this case, where again he was caught, even arrested, and even pled guilty, he still didn't receive a conviction. No punishment. He had to take like a sex offender course or something. He had to do like a tutorial on how not to be a sexual degenerate pervert scumbag loser fucking vile worm.
Cow pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to a community corrections order and forced to undergo a sex offender treatment program. No conviction was recorded.
It also means that if he does go on to become a doctor or a surgeon, his patients are not going to know what he's been up to and what he could potentially get up to.
He should get kicked out by the campus.
Not only should he be kicked out, that should have been like a day one, like snap of the fingers, like instant reaction to all of these crimes that he has literally pled guilty to, caught in the act multiple times. They should have instantly caught him, or kicked him out for the safety of the students, and then throw him in jail. These are serious offenses. And as that lady mentioned, if he goes on to become a doctor, which it seems like he is perfectly within his ability to do so, since there are no consequences for his crimes that he has committed, his patients would then be in danger too. Imagine him around an unconscious woman that he is supposed to be like operating on or something. It's a recipe for disaster. It's fucking terrifying.
A few months ago, Cow was arrested again after filming a woman inside the public toilets here at the District Docklands shopping centre. He confessed and pleaded guilty. Again, no conviction was recorded.
How many women have to be subjected to a perpetrator of this type of crime, and he literally gets away with it? How safe are the female students at that university right now?
That's a great question. How safe are these women? How many women need to be subjected to this perpetrator who keeps getting away with it and is getting sent a very clear message from the justice system over there in Australia that he can just keep doing it to his heart's content till the cows come home? Why don't we ask the judge, Michelle, who is the one that was presiding over the case that was mentioned there about how he was caught filming in that toilet? That's the one that we've been watching prior to this older one. He is done and has been caught multiple times doing this exact same thing, and yet still not being punished.
Mr. Cowan, do you still plan on becoming a doctor? Mr. Cowan, do you plan on apologising to your victims? Police found over 100 secretly recorded videos and images of innocent women on the 23-year-old's phone, taken inside public bathrooms at Docklands District Shopping Centre and at his student accommodation in the city.
Yeah, he can still pursue being a doctor. He's not getting any actual punishment, no consequences, even though he is very clearly guilty of these crimes for which he is accused. They have overwhelming evidence, and it's not even a matter of if he did it. They know he did. They just don't care. I guess the judge that was presiding over the case just hit him with a yawn. So what? He had over 100 videos secretly recording women in bathrooms? Big whoop! I got the fucking courthouse shitter bugged right now! Sue me! What a despicable outcome to this case. To me, it reads like they don't take sexual crimes seriously. That's what it feels like. It's unbelievable that they know he did this. They just don't want to punish him. So now this disgusting freak gets away with it. Not even a slap on the wrist, still gets to be a doctor down the line, and doesn't go to jail or face any repercussions for it. He has a 12-month period where he can't reoffend. That's all.
But despite his guilty pleas, the court let him off without a conviction. Explaining his actions, he told police he was in the female toilets because he wasn't sure about his gender.
Are you still unsure of your gender?
Now, in all the articles I've read relating to this case, I've only seen this claim from 7 News Australia. I'm not familiar with the organization, but according to them, when police were questioning Mr. Cow as to his reason for being in the women's restroom doing this, he panicked and spit out a bunch of horseradish that he's actually in there because he's unsure on his gender. However, according to a different news organization, what he said when confronted by authorities after being caught in the cubicle secretly filming that woman is that he was gay. He told the police that the reason he was in the women's restroom is because he was gay.
Reaching into her cubicle, she ran and told security, and when he was confronted, Cal said he was gay. That's why he was using the female bathrooms. When police seized Bao Cal's phone, they found more than 100 different videos, but only one victim was identified. The rest remain unknown. It's not the first time Cow has been shown mercy by the courts. In May last year, he avoided conviction after he was caught upskirting a woman, and in July, he avoided conviction again for near identical offending.
It actually is crazy how he continues to just get away with it with no punishments, because it's not like he and his legal team are going in there like he's got fucking Saul Goodman in his corner and they're in there outsmarting them in the legal system, giving like some kind of crazy legal smackdown proving his innocence. They literally march in there and just say, yep, he's guilty. This guy, he did it. Everything you've accused him of, he did do it. Okay, are we done here? Can we all go ahead and leave now? I'm getting kind of hungry, and he's got to go secretly film other women in other bathrooms. So, are we done here? No convictions, right? No convictions? All right, great. Really appreciate it. Big thumbs up. We're going to go ahead and leave now. He just continues to get away with it, even knowing that he is guilty. Everyone knows it. They just don't want to punish him. It's fucking crazy. Now, in the case of what he said to officers at the scene, 7 News Australia claims that he told them he was unsure of his gender, and then 9 News claims that he said he was gay. Either way, this clearly seems like a desperate, like, Hail Mary attempt to avoid going to jail, like, no, you guys have got it all twisted. I'm not in the women's bathroom because I'm a pervert, I'm here because I'm gay. And it's like, okay, that doesn't do anything. What you were doing is still highly illegal. You are caught filming women using the bathroom, and you were caught with over 100 other videos of secretly filming these women, non-consensually. It's a sexual crime. It doesn't matter if he's unsure of his gender or if he's gay or anything like that. Which, by the way, is something he didn't say in his previous run-ins with the authorities for similar crimes that he has been guilty of. So it really seems like it's just something he pulled out of his ass desperately when confronted by the police after getting caught red-handed again. Now, from what I can see from court, this never got brought up. So to me, it seems like his defense found it to be a pretty weak position to try and argue, because him secretly filming videos of women using the toilet, upskirting, about to use the shower in a fucking intimate setting like the bathroom where he's non-consensually filming them, is still illegal in every single possible context. So like I said, I haven't been able to find any information on if that was ever even brought up in court or not. It doesn't seem like it was. It sounds like he must have been like really trying to avoid getting arrested again, so then he tried saying like, I'm unsure about my gender, thus I had to be in the women's restroom filming these women non-consensually, collecting data here on my phone with these videos. Like, it sounds like that was something he just tried with the police that were about to arrest him, and not something that they actually tried as like a legal strategy, though I don't know, because not all of the information on this case is public. All we have is the judge's final verdict, where she cites things not related to that, but instead that he's young and also might be lonely. That was her reasoning for no punishment for a serial pervert who has committed numerous crimes.
The court today heard one of his traumatised victims remains anxious and, unsurprisingly, hypervigilant, the incident impacting her ability to use public restrooms. In her sentencing, the magistrate said Mr. Cow has no family here and considers him to be isolated in the community. She also said the 23-year-old's youth needed to be taken into account.
Bro, this judge can suck a fart out of my butthole. What are you talking about? What does that have to do with this case at all? He's 23 years old. Do you think he doesn't know the difference between consensual filming and non-consensual filming? This is a sexual crime. He is using the women's restroom for the sole purpose of filming them use the bathroom, and apparently upskirting women. And apparently, according to some of the articles, was secretly filming women who were about to use the shower. Like, this is not a matter of like, he didn't know any better. How could he have possibly known? He's alone in our community. What are you talking about? There's plenty of people in the world that are alone right now that don't do this degenerate, disgusting, criminal shit. And the message that the court is sending to the victims here is just gross. Literally giving the victims one of these right here. That's the gift from the judge in this case. Over 100 videos of victims that, again, they know the guy is guilty. They know that. They even say as much. And then they just don't do anything about it. They let him get away with it. It's not even like the like illusion of a punishment. They don't even try and pretend like they're punishing him. They're even just trying to garner sympathy for the guy, saying like, oh, well, he's alone, and well, he's only 23 years old, so we have to make sure we take that into account. So I think what makes sense here is that 12 months, just don't do it again, and we're good here. Then all is squared. The victims got no justice. So, like, they read an impact statement from one of the women who was filmed by Cow here, and she's talking about like how it actually really dramatized her. And I imagine many others probably would feel the same if they found out that when they were using the bathroom, there was some secret fucking evil weirdo in the stall next to them filming them the whole time in order to jerk off to it. Like, I'm sure many people would feel extremely upset and uncomfortable by something like that. And then, on top of that, after they catch the person responsible, they get away with it. And not only do they get away with it, they try and play like a sad song in the world's smallest violin for the guy, not for the victims. They don't do anything for the victims to try and get them justice or anything. It's no compassion for the victims of a sexual crime blows my mind here. And the judge, Michelle, even had the gall to say, like, the women deserve to feel safe in this kind of area, you know, an intimate spot like the bathroom. Which is why I'm ensuring that this guy does not go to jail and does not get punished. We'll have a 12-month period where we ask him to maybe just stop, pump the brakes on that filming women secretly in the restroom business. That ought to make all these victims feel better and feel safe again. It's crazy, man. It blows my mind. Judge Michelle really dropped the ball on this one. I think there needs to be a follow-up investigation here, but that's, maybe I'm on the crack pipe. I just feel like justice wasn't exactly served. No convictions, even though this is not the first time he has faced this. He continues to have a 100% win rate here, and even just, all he does is just plead guilty, and they just refuse to punish him. It's not like he's going in there and outsmarting them or something, or proving his innocence or anything like that. He just goes in there and just like, yeah, I did it. Okay, can I go now? Are we done here? Like, oh yeah, we're done. No conviction. Don't worry about any of that pesky nuisance stuff. Don't worry. Go about your day. Keep studying. Can't wait to see you as a neurologist out there and all that stuff. It's mind-boggling. It really is crazy. I had to yap about this when I learned about it. That's really about it. See ya.